Have you ever known exactly what you wanted to say in English, but the words arrived too late?
Oh, absolutely. First, I think of the sentence in my language, then I translate it into English, then I check the grammar, and by the time I am ready to speak, everyone has gone home.
Well, that may be a slight exaggeration, but many English learners know that feeling.
It feels like my brain has a very slow translation department. I send in a request, wait 3 business days, and finally receive one English sentence.
Today, we are closing that department.
Wait, really? Does that mean I can finally think in English and speak confidently?
Yes, in this episode, you will learn practical ways to stop translating every word and start forming thoughts directly in English.
That sounds like a superpower.
It may feel like one, but it is actually a skill. And like any skill, it becomes easier with the right kind of practice. Let us begin with something important.
That is a relief because I have been doing it for years.
Translation helps beginners connect new English words to ideas they already understand.
The problem begins when you depend on translation for every sentence.
So translation can be a bridge, but I should not build my house on it.
Exactly. That is a surprisingly good metaphor.
Thank you. My slow translation department occasionally produces quality work.
When you translate everything, speaking becomes a long process. You create the idea, convert it into English, check it, and finally say it. That extra work causes hesitation.
And while I am checking everything, I start worrying about mistakes.
Right. Confidence disappears because you are trying to create a perfect sentence before you speak.
But fluent speakers do not prepare every sentence in advance, do they?
No, they use familiar words, phrases, and patterns automatically. Our goal is to make more English feel automatic for you.
So I do not need to force myself to stop translating immediately.
Correct. You simply need to give your brain more opportunities to connect English directly to meaning.
The first method is simple. Narrate small parts of your day in English.
You mean I should walk around talking to myself?
You can speak quietly or think silently. Start with what you can see and what you are doing. For example, I am making coffee. The water is hot. I need a clean cup.
That sounds almost too easy.
Easy is exactly what we want. If the exercise is too difficult, you will return to translation. Use English that already feels comfortable.
Let me try. I am sitting at my desk. I am listening English Podcast Island. They are teaching me English.
Very good.
I am also thinking about lunch.
Of course you are. Now continue with one or two details.
I am getting hungry, but I want to finish this lesson first.
Perfect. You connected simple English directly to your real experience. You did not need to create a complicated story.
How long should I practice this?
Begin with 60 seconds. Describe your morning routine, your journey to work, the room around you, or the food you are preparing.
Only 1 minute?
One focused minute every day is more valuable than 30 minutes once a month. As it becomes easier, increase it to 3 or 5 minutes.
I like that. It feels possible, not overwhelming.
The second method is to learn phrases, not isolated words.
I have a notebook filled with isolated words.
Then your notebook contains ingredients, but not many complete meals.
There you go with another metaphor. Please explain.
Imagine you learn the word decision. You understand its meaning, but you may hesitate when you want to use it. Now compare that with the phrase, make a decision.
That phrase is ready to use.
Exactly. You can say, I need to make a decision, or it was a difficult decision. Your brain does less construction during a conversation.
So instead of learning progress, I could learn make progress.
Yes. Instead of only learning opinion, learn in my opinion. Instead of memorizing depends, learn it depends on the situation.
And if someone asks me a difficult question, I can immediately say, it depends on the situation.
Even when you have no idea what the answer is.
You are revealing all my conversational secrets.
Useful phrases give you time to think while keeping the conversation moving. Expressions such as, let me think, that is a good question, and what I mean is, are extremely valuable.
They make speech sound natural, and they reduce those uncomfortable silent moments.
Precisely. Collect phrases you can imagine using in your real life, then practice them as complete units. Now I want to share one of the most powerful techniques.
I am listening.
Here is the secret. Create an English-only zone in your day.
An English-only zone?
Choose a short activity during which you will use only English in your mind. It could be your morning coffee, a 10-minute walk, or the time you spend getting ready.
What happens if I do not know a word?
Do not immediately translate or search for it. Describe the idea with words you already know.
Can you give me an example?
Imagine you forget the word umbrella. You could think, I need the thing that protects me from the rain.
That sounds longer, but I am still thinking in English.
Exactly. This trains flexibility. In real conversations, flexible speakers keep going even when a word disappears.
I usually stop completely and search my brain for the perfect word.
From now on, describe it, simplify it, or use an example. Communication matters more than perfection.
So if I forget exhausted, I can say, I am very, very tired.
Yes, the simpler sentence is better than silence.
That takes away a lot of pressure.
Our fourth method is question and answer practice.
This sounds like a test.
It is practice, not a test. Ask yourself an easy question in English and answer it immediately.
What kind of question?
Questions such as, what did I do today? What am I going to eat? Or, what was the best part of my week?
All right, ask me one.
What are you going to do after this podcast?
I am going to make some lunch, answer a few messages, and go for a walk.
Excellent. You hesitated briefly, but you continued.
I also made a small grammar mistake in my head before I answered.
And the world continued turning.
It did. Nobody sounded an alarm.
This is important. If you interrupt yourself after every mistake, you train your brain to fear speaking. Finish the thought first. You can review mistakes later.
So practice has two different stages, speaking and correcting.
Exactly. During the speaking stage, focus on expressing the idea. During the correction stage, choose one or two things to improve.
Trying to speak and correct everything simultaneously is like driving while repairing the car.
Another excellent metaphor. Your translation department may have found a new career. Let us talk about confidence, because thinking in English is not only about vocabulary.
For me, confidence disappears when I speak to someone who sounds fluent.
What do you tell yourself in that moment?
I think, do not make a mistake. Do not sound foolish. Use perfect grammar.
That inner voice creates fear before the conversation even begins.
Yes, sometimes I know the words, but I still cannot say them.
Replace that impossible goal with a useful one. Instead of saying, I must speak perfectly, tell yourself, I will communicate one clear idea.
One clear idea feels manageable.
Then communicate the next idea. Confidence grows from evidence. Every time you successfully express something, your brain learns that you can handle English conversations.
Even if the sentence is simple?
Especially if it is simple. Clear English is powerful English.
I think many learners wait to feel confident before they speak.
But confidence usually comes after action, not before it.
So I need to speak while I still feel a little nervous.
Yes, courage is not the absence of nervousness. It is continuing even when nervousness is present.
I like that. My goal is not to sound perfect. My goal is to stay in the conversation.
It is time for a 7-day Thinking in English challenge.
Now this feels serious. What do we do?
On day 1, describe your surroundings for 1 minute.
Easy enough.
On day 2, narrate one routine, such as making breakfast or getting ready for work.
I can do that.
On day 3, choose 5 useful phrases and say each one in a complete sentence.
I already want to use "it depends on the situation."
On day 4, create a 5-minute English-only zone.
No translating and no dictionary unless I truly need it afterward.
Exactly. On day 5, answer 3 simple questions about your life.
I will answer immediately and correct myself later.
On day 6, listen to a short piece of English and repeat a few sentences aloud. Copy the speaker's rhythm, not just the words.
And what happens on day 7?
On day 7, speak for 2 minutes about what you learned during the week.
2 full minutes?
Yes. If you forget a word, explain it another way. If you make a mistake, continue. If you feel nervous, continue.
All right. Challenge accepted.
Record yourself on the 1st and 7th days if possible. You may be surprised by the difference. Before we finish, let us review. Narrate your day using simple English. Learn complete phrases. Create an English-only zone. Practice answering questions and focus on communication before correction.
Most importantly, I do not need to fight every translated thought.
Correct. Be patient with your brain. You are building a new mental habit, and habits develop through repetition.
Today, I learned that thinking in English does not begin with advanced vocabulary. It begins with small, direct thoughts.
Beautifully said.
And if I forget a word, I can explain it. If I make a mistake, I can continue. If I feel nervous, I can still speak.
That is real confidence.
You know what? My translation department is already looking much less busy.
Good. Give it a long vacation.
Preferably somewhere warm.
To everyone listening, try the 7-day challenge and tell us which exercise helps you most.
And remember,
You do not need perfect English to express a powerful idea.
keep practicing, keep speaking, and give yourself permission to improve one conversation at a time.
Think in English, speak confidently, and do not let translation slow you down.
Thank you for learning with us today. We will see you in the next episode.